The Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. He is Cedric Maxwell. I'm Josue Pavone. Hope everyone had a great Christmas break, great holiday break. The Celtics, I mean, like we said, Max, we're going to recap this road trip. And, man, it was a heck of a road trip for these guys. They were 3-1 out of the 4-game West Coast road trip. And we'll talk about that, of course. And we also got to talk about the conversation that's starting to brew, Max, over the last week or so about All-Stars. How many All-Stars are on this Celtics team? We'll get into that as well. And finally, Udonis Haslem, interesting way to motivate his team back during his playing days, as he revealed on a recent podcast. I'll let you guys know if you haven't heard already. Can't wait to hear Max's response on this. I know I sent you a text about it, Max, but we haven't really gotten into it, so I can't wait to hear your raw reaction from it. As we're recording this right after I sent you that text, by the way, or not too soon, minutes after, I should say. But anyways, Max, West Coast road trip. You just came back from California. How you feeling, man? Merry Christmas. How was it?
Exhausted. Didn't play one, didn't get a rebound, not a turnover, not a block shot, not a point.
But you feeling it, huh?
I feel whipped. I can never get my timing right about sleeping when I was on the West Coast. And essentially today was the day it all came down. And I might have went to sleep, just to call myself taking a nap at 3 o'clock. And I didn't wake up until 7 o'clock to right now. So I'm beat, but it was a great road trip, considering the first game was pretty much like a disaster. You think that playing Golden State, you were 18 ahead in the third quarter, late in the third, and you lose that basketball game in overtime. All you had to do is make 1 or 2 shots, couple of free throws, whatever it was, and you let Golden State back in. One of the ushers, as I was coming out, said, "Man, like I said, we're and you guys fucking hate it." like I'm playing it.
Yeah, he might have been an E40 fan. He was like, let me get a Max real quick.
Yeah, so I just laughed, but that game was rough,
But that's funny though, man, because that's the narrative, right? I mean, no one is saying, "Oh, Golden State's right up there with Boston." Oh, hey, look out, Celtics! Here come the Warriors. No, that's really what the narrative's been after that loss was. Man, these guys are still in the Celtics' head, or man, Steph Curry can still do that to the Celtics from time to time.
Yeah, so. It was that, but it was just the way they lost. Just careless turnovers, bad shots, and of the games. I thought the Sacramento game was a game that they were really going to get handled. Sacramento came out and started throwing haymakers in that in their game in Sacramento, second night of back-to-back without Jason Tatum. And Celtics went on a run, and boy, Porzingis just showed himself. Although he twisted his ankle, he continued to play. And I thought that game was a game that was meant to be lost on the schedule. They played that game well, and then we know what they did when they went down to the City of Angels, went down there and won 2 games, and they won those games handily. They beat a Clippers team without their best player, though, Kawhi Leonard, and they have been playing extremely well. And then they went in and handled LA, and you saw Father Time starting to win the battle, even against LeBron. LeBron's been good this year, but you could tell.
I was wondering if you're going to bring this up. Yeah,
that they attacked LeBron on both ends of the floor, and the intimidation, the fear level wasn't there the way it normally is when they see LeBron. Jason Tatum doesn't look at him like he's my hero right now. Right. He's another guy that I have to climb over to win a championship. So the road trip was a good one, 3-1. I said that before. I said if they went 3-1 on that trip, I thought it would be incredible.
Yeah, you called it.
But once they lost that first one, for them to win the next 3, that really showed me something about this team.
They showed a lot of character, the way they bounced back. And like you said, this wasn't close battles after that loss of the Golden State Warriors, right? I mean, they're taking care of teams. And by the end of it, you saw LeBron, he was all smiles. Like, man, you guys, what can we do? Like that's the kind of, like, that's what it looked like to me, whereas before you saw a lot of those smiles before and after. It was Tatum going up to the, LeBron being like, hey, you beat us, but man, this is a great moment. Like, they're so far beyond that. And I'm glad that you said that, Max, because that's the way I see the Celtics team. Against a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, like, I just feel like they're so beyond, where they are in terms of trying to figure out, okay, we are the best team in the NBA. Yeah, we dropped the ball against the Golden State Warriors, but we're going to pick it right back up and get these wins against the rest of California. That's not easy to do. It really is, especially against a Sacramento Kings team, like you said, it's been putting up points up as much as anyone in the NBA. But they gave up just as many against the Celtics because the Celtics made them pay for it. So that was a really good test for the Celtics team. And now they're coming back home and with the best record in the NBA. And right now, if you ask me, they're the best team in the NBA. With these type of challenge, man. 23-6 the record now. 23-6.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think that's the case. Whereas before, we look at a game like Detroit coming in, losing 26 in a row. And we look at this game for the Celtics and say it was scary. Now we're not looking at this. This team takes care of business right now. Right. And they showed me that when they played Cleveland back-to-back, beat them, played Orlando back-to-back. We knew that last year's team, or the version of last couple of years' team, was going to lose one or two of those games to those teams, but came in and handled business and did that. And I would be, shocked if that game is anywhere close tomorrow, considering the Celtics should have, most of their weapons. They should be playing. Their starting five should be intact.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
The way the Celtics have been, again, what happened against the Warriors and in the past when they're taking too long to put a team away, they've learned already. So I think with those lessons behind them, I'd be really shocked if they were to go and drop the ball against the Detroit Pistons, which are they're about to find themselves on the wrong end of history. Right now, they're tied for 27 consecutive losses, tied for the NBA record after losing to the Brooklyn Nets in a game that somewhat came down to the wire in that last minute. But in the end, man, it was the Nets that won, even though Cade Cunningham played a heck of a game, man. 40 piece against the Nets, but it wasn't enough.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Celtics are able to do in playing in a game like this. Just as well, you start to critique this team and its moves. Brad Stevens has to be candidate for GM of the year. That Porzingis trade
changes everything, man.
Changes everything.
To me, in the second half against the Lakers, when they started throwing it to him inside, it just created problems across the board for Los Angeles.
It did, because that was the thing that you weren't getting, because Porzingis turns and scores. Rob Williams was a great defender. If they were looking for the lob, he was able to make that lob, but the lob wasn't always there. So what the Celtics did were they have at any time on that floor, Joe Sway, is they have 5 legitimate three-point threats. I mean, every time you're on the floor, and the Lakers were picking their poison. If they double team Porzingis, then somebody was wide open in the corner. It could have been
White.
It could have been
Drew
Brown,
Holiday or Brown. Yeah.
Holiday. Pritchard played really well. It was fascinating to see just how well they played and what Porzingis brings to the table. If he is healthy, this team legitimately has an opportunity to get another banner, because he has made this team that good, because the thing that he brings to the table is the scoring, his length. He's not the defender Rob Williams is by blocking shots all the time, but he creates situations with those long arms of his.
He's certainly a presence.
That he can just challenge defensively. But Tatum and Brown, man, and Brown in particular on this road trip, Brown was deadly. And then Tatum took over. I mean, the first 8 shots of the Laker game when the Celtics were up by 16 or 17, Jason Tatum hadn't touched the ball. Hadn't even touched the ball on his offensive end. And then he still got 20 plus later on. And that shows his maturity as a player saying, look, I need a shot. No, I don't need a shot. What I need to do is create situations that, we're only going to get better. I'm going to get paid. Everybody else is going to get paid. The goal here is to win a championship. So I'm looking forward to watching these guys' maturation and all that. But you did mention and brought up those pesky Miami Heat. I do want to talk about them. Udonis Haslem.
I know you're dying to get to it, man. I'm shocked that you didn't cut me off.
I'll let you set it up, Joseph.
I'm surprised you didn't cut me off. All right, well, real quick, before we get to that, I just simple question. How many All-Stars is on the Celtics team, would you say? Because this conversation happens every year. And this year it's a lot more interesting than most.
It's definitely going to be 3. And Derrick White should be an All-Star. So the only one that's out of the mix, I would think, might be Drew Holiday of the starters.
Okay.
And Drew Holiday is starting to come around, and you can see his effect. He's getting more and more confident offensively. So, but I would say 3 and should be 4. Derrick White should make it. Brown, Tatum, Porzingis should make it. And that's indicating, if you look at this team and of their record and what they're doing so far.
Okay. All right. That's what I was hoping you would say. I'm thinking the same thing, man. I think it's Derrick White. I think the only thing is he might be on the bubble because of how many other guards in the Eastern Conference are balling now. However, if one of these guys are hurt, Derrick White's that guy. Okay, that's the best way I could put it. All right, there's guys coming up. I mean, obviously there's Tyrese Halliburton, what he's doing in Indiana. Shit, even Tyrese Maxey, what he's doing in Philly. That's you got to talk about that as well. So this guy's in the running, but Derrick White's in the running. Jalen Brunson in New York, man, he just went off the other night. Right, another one.
Brunson.
It's just so many guards, man. It's a lot of guards.
Good this year that people have talked about. They're going down to Atlanta and saying Trae Young has been good.
Trae Young's another one. Yeah,
in basketball. So he's
putting up 29.
Yeah, it's a crazy league when you start looking at guys and what they're doing. Donovan Mitchell has been fantastic. So every night you see guards who are absolutely killing it. So, and Derrick White would probably be, if somebody got hurt, he definitely would be, but he should be anyway. But what happens sometimes to players, and I was one of them, when you play with great players, those are the guys that are going. With me, it was Mikal, Parrish, Bird, and then Nate Archibald. Mikal, Parrish, Bird, and then Dennis Johnson. And so
you had some of the greatest teammates, man.
So you don't have a lot of room in the end for an All-Star game. And for me, right now, the way the All-Star game is now, I would rather not been in it, considering that, during my time, you had a weekend of rest. Right now, the Celtics play on a Thursday and don't play again until the next Thursday. So I should be looking a little bit darker, because I'm looking at maybe Aruba.
Some island. I was going to say some island.
Man, give me some heat and sun. I don't give a damn. I got to have some sun and heat.
And Maxwell's off the mainland.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for candidates isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 300 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work, use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to any other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because it knows exactly what I'm looking for. It gives me the top candidates that I need, that enables me to comb through the other applicants and get right to the top to what I'm looking for. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the Cedric Maxwell podcast can get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibly at Indeed.com/Maxwell. Just go to Indeed.com/Maxwell right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Maxwell. Terms and conditions apply. In the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Get unparalleled access to job seekers with over 350 million monthly unique visitors globally, according to Indeed data, and an extended reach through Glassdoor. That's Indeed.com/Maxwell. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
All right, we'll see. The conversation is going to continue throughout the month of January, all the way up until they make their announcements in the first couple of weeks of February. But just want to get your take on that. Get it out there early.
Derrick White has been putting up numbers that are crazy.
It's been incredible, man.
His ability to block shots from the guard position has been crazy. I mean, as much as they talk about some of the other guards that played around this week, Derrick White saw some of the great ones. I mean, he had a block against Steph. He had a block against Clay. He was blocking shots all over.
Crucial blocks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there were just things he was able to do that were eye-opening. And even Michael Thompson, who was with the Lakers, after the game, he just did like this. It was hands up like, okay, all right. I see what you're talking about, because he and I always have a running debate before these games. And I just tell him how good Porzingis made him. He's like, well, all he's going to do is stand out there and shoot threes. Well, Anthony Davis got 40 in that game, but he also gave up 28 to Porzingis. So his net rating would have been, as Red Auerbach would have said, he scored 12.
Yeah, right.
What they did with LeBron, they just locked LeBron up. And then the Lakers didn't have any other scores. They wanted to say, wow, who is going to help them, down the line.
That's the formula. You challenge the other guys to shoot. I mean, you get the 40 piece from Anthony Davis, that's going to put you in position to win, but you need some more against the Celtics. I mean, that's the difference. Again, like that's the gap I saw. And for sure, Father Time is knocking on that door when it comes to LeBron James. But LA, man, we're going to get into it in a few weeks, because they're going to trade for like a Zach LaVine, or they're going to trade for this isn't the team that we're going to see in April, right? Put it that way. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of tricks they'll try to pull off up their sleeve in the next month or so. But right now, man, they're looking like a 500 team, if you ask me. Maybe slightly above. But in the Western Conference, that's tough. That's not easy. Man, but anyways,
the Western Conference right now, just the way you're looking at the tough teams right now, is Minnesota is right nipping on the heels of the Celtics for the best record.
They're not going away.
OKC. Well, I was surprised that the Lakers went in and beat OKC. LeBron dropped 40 on them. But OKC has been playing great. Celtics will see them along with the big Frenchman within the next week. But this Celtics schedule is so bizarre that you come home. We just got home yesterday, a day off, play tomorrow, play Friday, and then leave on Saturday going to San Antonio, and then have OKC on that trip, come home for 2 days, play one game, and then go back on the road and play Indiana for 2 games in Indiana. It just doesn't stop with this team right now. I'm just happy.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just happy you're not traveling, Josue, or you'd be shaking your damn head.
Yeah, man, I'd have a lot less energy on this podcast, if I'm being honest with you, Max. Mm-hmm. But fortunately for myself, I got to spend it here and Christmas here in Boston. Got to enjoy my somewhat free time with my family. Still did the Celtics post-game show, but yeah,
you don't
not the same as travel.
As long as you see your niece, you don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'm chilling, man.
You don't give a fat man's ass. Right,
I love Christmas, man. You already know this year is special, man.
Your family must have been gloating over that little girl.
Man. I gotta send you the pics, man. It was beautiful, right by the tree. Wow. Man, she was like, "What is this? What's all these lights?" But you could tell she was loaded.
How old is she now?
She's 6 months, so it's funny, Max. She was born on June 25th. So this lucky girl gets showered with presents every 6 months. So every 6 months, it's 6/25. What is it? June 25th or December 25th? She's getting those presents. So yeah, it's exact half birthday. So it was equally as special for sure.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's great. But anywho, let's wrap up this episode with what I know you can't wait to get to, and that's Udonis Haslem, OG, Miami Heat OG. Everybody knows Haslem is Mr. Miami Heat. Just wrapped up his career, impressive career if you ask me, especially given how he was able to extend it. And you expect someone like that, Max, to really appreciate their elders, right? The people that came before him. But on a recent podcast with former Miami Heat guard Mike Miller and current Miami Heat center Bam Adebayo, who couldn't even believe what he was hearing. Udonis Haslem talked about during a pregame speech last year to get his team pumped up. He said F Bill Russell before taking on the Celtics. Just to provide some context here, he was talking about how last year they retired the great Bill Russell after his passing. Every arena in the NBA is retired the number 6, so no player can wear number 6. Well, Udonis Haslem said F all that. And even Bam Adebayo on the podcast said, damn, Unc, like that man just died. And he goes, that's the way he felt. He didn't take it back much. He said, no disrespect. I'm like, man, Max, what do you think about that? When you say no disrespect after something like that, it's as disrespectful as it gets, no?
Isn't that when you play on the court, Josue? You get some guy just did something to you and he goes, no disrespect. You go, what do you mean by that?
Right. In the heat of the moment.
You disrespecting me. The contents of it, to me, is different. Because when you were saying it before, I thought that he had said it at his retirement speech because they're going to retire his jersey.
Oh,
that's where I was thinking.
Yeah, no, that would have been wild.
They were retiring his jersey, and he said that. But with him saying like that to me, with him saying that to me is a little different because he was just trying to rile his guys up. It's like you've heard, LeBron. I hate Boston. You see where LeBron said, I love playing the place I hate the most. I love playing the most.
Yeah, but see the context of it too is what bothers me because you know what he said too. He adds, "Oh, you think Boston would do that for us?" And I'm like, "This is Bill Russell we're talking about. This isn't about Boston, man. This is a conversation we've had so many times back on this podcast, and here we go again. Like the lack of appreciation or respect, I should say, like it's just not there. And I thought someone of his generation would understand. Like he's in his 40s, Max. He's not a youngin. Like he should understand.
Wait a minute, Josue. Let's just give it the way it is, because you and I always keep it on the 100.
That's what we do.
This shouldn't be about Bill Russell. This is about his legacy as a black man in this league, and that should never be approached. It should always be kept up there in, Valhalla. It's the same way that if some player said, fuck Jackie Robinson, that number is retired all around Major League Baseball. Right. Because of what he did, the color line, all that. Bill Russell went through the same things and was a champion. I couldn't disagree with Udonis anymore. And I like Udonis Haslem. I really do. What he was doing was trying to pump his team up. But at the same time, I'm almost like, bam, like, damn, Unc, this isn't about heat culture. It isn't about this culture.
Right. Or the rivalry.
This is about the history of the NBA. Bill Russell is bigger than Miami Heat. He's bigger than, all these other teams. He's bigger than that because of what he did to this league and what he endured. So as much as I love Udonis Haslem, this time I think he's wrong. It's a little different, though, in saying that, among your teammates, when you get ready to walk out on the floor, but I just don't think you should utter that in a podcast.
Yeah.
Especially after the battle is over.
I was thinking that too, and I was thinking he was going to be like, kind of downplay it, but then it's like you put him on the spot, so he kind of felt like he had to defend himself. But I was just man,
the battle should be over.
Yeah,
when it comes to that, after you walked away. Although here I am, I'm saying that, and I'm saying screw Magic Johnson right now. I would think that the battle's over, but in my mind.
I was gonna say they won the series, Max. They won. Whatever he had to say, it worked. They got to the finals, but damn.
Still, in my mind, anytime I go in the crypto Staples Center, whatever that is,
it's still the no love lost.
Everything goes up on my collar. So let me keep it real on that tip. That shit should be over. What I did 30 years ago plus.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of podcasts, how was your guest spot with Big Game James?
I didn't even do Big Game James. Did not.
You didn't do?
No, I got on with Michael Thompson. We just did
That's right. You did Thompson. All right. I'm thinking of.
We did a pregame.
Okay.
We did a pregame.
Right.
It's like you and I now. We'll let you guys in on something. We're gonna grab one of my favorite guys, and we're gonna get him and his opinion, Rick Mahorn, especially after the beatdown tomorrow. We got after they break the record, we got to get him on the podcast. I've been asking him, I'm like, what's going on? He said, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I have no idea. He said, I sit there as a broadcaster.
He's probably tired of hearing the damn question every day, man.
Yeah, so I'm just stunned. So the next
we're gonna talk him through it.
We're gonna have Rick Mahorn. But yeah, man.
We're gonna talk Rick through it, man. We're gonna see what's going on in Detroit.
But that's hard as a broadcaster, though. If you're sitting there and all that stuff goes down, it's tough every night going to the arena and knowing as a broadcaster, because you pump yourself up, you're getting involved. You think,
wait, hold on. So how did you?
Game's better.
How did you feel? In what was it? 06. When 06, 07 was it? When the Celtics went on that 18-game losing streak, man. When you were going in for like the 15th or 16th in a row, I know if I know you well, Max, you were going in there being like, "Here comes another L, guys." You was ready for it.
Here come another ass kicking. You're going, "Oh my God!"
I know you wasn't the one being like, "Come on, guys, we got this. We got to win this one."
We had a game that I did on TV. I did one for stepped in on Comcast at that time and played the Detroit Pistons. And at some point in that game, they had the Celtics down by 55, and the crowd started cheering for the cheering for the Pistons. And Tayshaun Prince and them was still shooting threes. It was like that. It just got ridiculous to me. But now in this league, that's the way the games are played. Mm-hmm. If you're giving the three, you're not pulling back. You're taking that shot and you're pouring it on. So I was quite upset, emotionally down. So I can't wait to hear what Rick Mahorn has to say. How he's desensitized himself from this entire piece.
Max was like, "Yo, trade the whole team away, damn it, screw them, get them."
I mean, they've been chanting out, "Sell the team, sell the team." Like what
Yo,
did
wild times, man.
do? What
Yo,
did
you
they
youngins don't understand, man.
Yeah.
When I was young, man, when I was coming up, the Celtics were not what they are now. Nowhere near it, man. We were cheering for Paul, Antoine. We were hoping for the best, man. But those are some good days. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast, man. We'll see if we get Rick on for next episode. Can't wait for that. And we'll see if the Celtics can keep this streak going. I mean, this is what championship teams do, right, Max? They have a team snap a winning streak, you start another one, right? Start a new one.
Take no prisoners. That's what they do.
That's
when
right.
You have a team down, you keep them down. So what I'm seeing is a team that has grown mentally. They don't give a damn about who they're playing. At one time, they would, be on, no, we might not play. I can't imagine those first 6 people, 7 people. Pritchard has stepped up, and Pritchard is playing well. You think about it. Sam Hauser has been the only guy who hasn't really shot the ball well. He was 0 for 6 against Golden State, 0 for 6 from the 3.
From 3, right.
I think he turned around against the Lakers. He was 0 for 5 or something. So he hasn't played well. So he's due.
But he's due, exactly.
He's due. So
we've seen that before.
You got guys like Brissett and, stepping off the bench. Joe Mazzulla, now let's say, before we go, Joe Mazzulla quietly has put together unreal, campaign so far in this first half.
Yeah, man.
With his
He's got these guys locked in. Yeah, for sure.
Talking about Joe Mazzulla, he doesn't call timeouts. He doesn't do this, and still he's winning basketball games. So let's call a spade here, man. That dude is coaching his ass off. His coaching staff. No offense at all to the coaching staffs he's had before, but Sam Cassell is another level. Assistant coach. I've been able to get in the players' ears, and it's been really enjoyable to see. It's like Sam Cassell and Jason Tatum out in San Francisco.
The way those two connect, man, it's great.
They went out and had dinner. Any other assistant coaches who would have went out to have dinner with Jason Tatum. That bond is only getting tighter, and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, same, man. Same, absolutely. And you already know, I don't have to tell you about Sam Cassell and that kind of experience that he has, not only as a player, but as a coach as well. And you can just tell he's having a ball this year, man. Yeah. He's enjoying every moment of it. And just as much as Jason Tatum and the Celtics, with the best record in the NBA, 23-6, we'll see if we can keep this thing going. Detroit Pistons finding themselves on the wrong end of history, as they'll see if they get number 28. 28 losses in a row, which actually would tie them with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, this losing streak is interesting because they carried into the 2014-15 season into the 2015-16 campaign. So technically, the losing streak was still on for the Philadelphia 76ers. But the Pistons are on the brink of passing them. So they're 28th. Right now, Pistons are at 27th. We'll see what happens in Boston. We'll see what happens after that, of course, and all the matchups with the Celtics on our next episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. I am Joseph Pavone. He is Cedric Maxwell. We'll see you guys next episode.